Friends, today we will start with our new topic, microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis means formation of the microspores. How the microspores are formed. Microspores and the pollen grains, one and the same thing. These are the spores which further lead to the formation of the male gametes. So first of all we will discuss the structure of the anther. Stamens or the microsporophyll, that is the male reproductive structure of the angiospermic plants, and a typical stamen is made up of three parts. First part is the filament, which is an elongated tube like structure, and the anther, which is bilobed and attached at the tip of the filament and connective, which joins the lobe of the anthers. Means one anther is having two anther lobes, and the two anther lobes both are connected with each other by means of a connective, which is a sterile tissue, and this connective tissue is connected with the filament of the anther. And each anther lobe is, when it is mature, it has two pollen sacs or the microsporangia. Means the complete anther is having 4 microsporangia lobes or 4 pollen sacs. Means each anther lobe having 2 pollen sacs. Completely it will have the 4. So it is called as the tetrasporangiate. So we call such type of anthers as the tetrasporangiate or dithecous. In some plants, the anthers have a single lobe with 2 microsporangia only. It is a characteristic feature of the monocot families. So we will call it as bisporangiate rather than the tetrasporangiate. Bisporangiate, or you may call monothecous. ठीक है? Hibiscus is the example, and Morigna is also the example. And rarely the anther has only one lobe with a single microsporangia. Okay. And unisporangiate examples are the Archaeothobium. Then we will discuss about the development of the anther and the microsporogenesis, how the anthers are formed. Young anther has a mass of the meristematic homogeneous cells which are covered by a single layer of the epidermis, and it becomes 4-lobed, and each lobe form a microsporangium with the microspores or the pollen grains. Its development is initiated within the with the start of the development of the anthers. Development of the microsporangium or the microspores occurs as follow. How the pollen sacs are formed, how the pollen sac develop inside the developing anther. Inside a anther lobe, a mass of the hypodermal cells get differentiated from the others by means of its large distinct size and radially elongated and prominent at 4 corners of the young anther. So we can say when we have a young anther will have 4 distinct cells at its 4 corners, which will further lead to the formation of the pollen sacs. These are called as the archisporial cells. Cells which are destined to form the pollen sac are called as the archisporial cells, and they are differentiated hypodermally within the anther. Okay. Then these archisporial cells, as they are distinct from the other surrounding cells, hypodermal cells, because they are larger in size, so these cells divide by periclinal divisions to form a 2 layer of the cells, the outer and the upper. The outer will be called as the parietal layer, PPL, we can name it as short form, and the inner primary sporogenous layer. So one cell divides into 2 parts, the outer primary parietal layer and the inner sporogenous layer. Then the cells of the primary sporogenous layer divides many times anticlinally and periclinally to form a multi-layered 2 to 5 layered anther wall. PPL means primary parietal layer. Primary parietal layer, that is the outer layer, that will undergo multi divisions to form a multi layer of 2 to 5 layers. Here you can see in the diagram, you can see the epidermis, and then these lower cells which are hypodermally differentiated, and then it divides into two, outer and the inner. Outer will lead to the formation of the anther pollen sac wall, and the inner is the sporogenous tissue. Then the wall layers of the pollen sac. Each pollen sac will have a outer epidermis. It is the outermost layer, single layer of the flattened cells, then endothecium. Endothecium is next to the epidermis. Inner to epidermis, single layered radially elongated cells has a thin layer area, stomium, which help in the dehiscence of the anthers. Then middle layers, 2 to 3 layers of the flattened cells inner to the endothecium and tapetum. Then innermost cell is the layer is the tapetum. Innermost layer, it is single layered cells with the dense cytoplasm and prominent nuclei, and it provides nutrition to the developing microspores, and it is of two types. The tapetal cells are of two types, amoeboid type and the amoeboid type, where the cell wall ruptures and the protoplasm released in the form of a protoplasmic network, and it provides nutrition to the developing microspores, and it is found mainly in case of the monocote. So amoeboid type of tapetum is a characteristic feature of the monocote families and secretory type. So we have the two types of tapetal cells, one is amoeboid and the other is secretory type. So amoeboid that forms a periplasmodial type fluid which completely bathes the developing sporogenous tissues or developing microspores, and secretory type that remains intact and secrete nutrition into the microsporangium. Secretory means it releases the contents bit by bit, not at once, just like that of the amoeboid type. Then cells of the primary sporogenous layer, which is the inner cell, that divide by the mitosis, and that forms a mass of the diploid sporogenous tissue, which then forms the microspore mother cells, or we can say the pollen mother cells, MMC. They are loosely arranged when mature. Then the pollen mother cells divide by meiosis to form the haploid microspores or the pollen grains. So we say that the primary sporogenous layer, they may divide to multiply to form the large number of microspore mother cells. Then the microspore mother cell, they divide mitotically, and then when finally the microspore mother cell is formed, then it divides by the meiotic divisions, and one microspore mother cell lead to formation of the 4 haploid microspores or the pollen grains. So they are produced in a group of 4. So each MMC, microspore mother cell, will undergo meiosis and will lead to the formation of 4 cells. So 4 cells are formed. They are the tetrads. Tetrad is formed. Then what is the arrangement of the 4 cells in a tetrad? That is different in different plants and depends upon the divisions, and also it is species specific. So tetrad is formed in 2 ways. One is successive type, the other is the simultaneous type. How the tetrad is formed? That is successive and simultaneous. In case of successive, each nuclear division is followed by the wall formation, and 4 cells are arranged in isobilateral manner. Okay, isobilateral manner means when it is successive. All the four are visible in case of successive division. Then simultaneous type. Simultaneous type, the nucleus of the pollen mother cell that divides twice to form the four haploid nuclei, and cell wall formation occurs simultaneously between the four nuclei, resulting in tetrads. Okay. So in successive and simultaneous there is difference that each nuclear division is followed by wall, but in case of simultaneous, four nuclei are formed, and afterwards that the wall is laid down. Then cells of the tetrads completely separate from each other and develop into a mature pollen grain of the microspore with characteristic structures. Okay. All the four cells are they got separated after a few time. For few time they remain intact, and then afterwards they got separated from each other. Each pollen grain is separated from the other, and these microspores germinate and produce the male gametophyte. They produce the male gametophyte. Then what is the role of the tapetum? Tapetum plays an important role in the development of the pollen grains. तो innermost layer है tapetum, which surrounds the developing microspores or the developing microspore mother cells or the dividing microspores mother cells. The different roles of the tapetum are: it provides nourishment to the developing pollen grains, and it plays an important role in the formation of the pollen wall, and many specific proteins of the pollen wall are secreted by the tapetum. Tapetum secretes many proteins, and these proteins are responsible for the pollen allergy and also responsible for the pollen pistil recognition reaction. You will study it in your later chapters. And the amoeboid type of the tapetum that produces the callase enzyme, which is necessary for dissolving the callose wall of the microspore tetrads, and thus help in their separation into individual pollen grains. Callase enzyme also plays an important role in making the pollen grains fertile or sterile. It produces an oily coating over some pollen grains called as the pollen kit, and also help in the insect attractant during the pollination and protect the pollen from the ultraviolet radiations. So it provides protective covering to the pollen grains, and also provides sculpturing to the pollen grains. The pollen grain, the exine wall is variously sculptured. Then what is the structure and development of the male gametophyte? How it develops? Male gametophyte is the haploid structure which is formed by the pollen grain or microspore, and it produces the male gametes or the anthrozoids. The microspores are the first cell of male gametophyte. Formation of the male gametophyte from the pollen grain occur as follow process. Preparation. The nucleus of the pollen grain migrates from the center to the periphery, and the cytoplasm becomes highly polarized. Formation of vegetative and generative. Then an unequal division occurs inside the microspore, and it divides into two unequal cells. One is vegetative cell, other is generative cell. Generative cell is small, vegetative cell is the larger one, and it is larger, and the smaller is the spindle shaped cell, and it is it lies inside the vegetative cell. Later on, the generative cell floats within the cytoplasm. So this is the two-celled microspore stage. So at this stage, at this two-celled male gametophyte, this two-celled male gametophyte, at this stage the pollen grain is shed off from the flower or from the parent. In many cases in 60% of the angiospermic families, the pollen grain is shed at this two-celled stage. But in many families, in 40% families of the angiosperm, it is shed at a three-celled stage. Means this generative cell divides into two cells, into two male gametes. So ultimately, the microspore or the pollen grain is shed from the parent plant or from the parent flower at a two-celled stage or at a three-celled stage. In most of the 60% of the angiospermic families, it is shed off at the two-celled stage, means one vegetative cell and one generative cell. But in 40% of the angiospermic families, the microspore or the pollen grain is shed at a three-celled stage, means it will be having a vegetative cell and two male gametes, means the generative cell will further divide to form the two male gametes. And three-celled stage, it is also shed off in the orchids. In case of orchid plants, the microspore is liberated from the parent at a three-celled stage. The male gametes are non-motile, and we will further discuss the pollen tube formation. Pollens are shed off from the anther and they are deposited on the stigma of the flower, of another flower, or maybe of the self, means on the same flower, on the stigma of the same flower. In case of three-celled stage, as in case of Bitta and Hordeum, on the stigma, the pollen grains germinate, it take up the hydration from the stigma and few nutrients necessary for its pollen tube emergence, and then it give out a pollen tube. The vegetative cell come out in the form of an elongation that is called as the pollen tube, and the pollen tube grows down through the style, stigma, and style pricks through the stigma and then moves into the grows into the style, and the male gamete and the vegetative nucleus along with the cytoplasm, they are transferred to the pollen tube and they are carried to the growing tip of the pollen tube. Then callosic plugs are laid down behind the these nuclei, behind the nuclei, so that they may not migrate back into the, so that there is not a not a backward flow of the contents into the pollen tube. So callosic plug are laid down in the throughout the pollen tube to keep the contents at their place. Tapetum. In some plants like Holopatia, and pollination occurs at two-celled stage and formation of the male gamete occur in the pollen when they are on the stigma. Means pollen grains land to the stigma surface at a two-celled stage, and after that they take up necessary nutrients from the stigma and the male gametes are formed at the stigmatic surface inside the microspore or in the pollen grain. In some other plants, male gametes are formed in the pollen tube just before fertilization. In few cases, they are formed just before the fertilization. Finally, the pollen tubes enter into the ovule, bringing about the fertilization, and the vegetative nucleus degenerates along with the pollen tube after fertilization. Then concept of the male germ unit. What is male germ unit? Male germ unit is a functional unit of the male gametophyte required for fertilization. It is made by a combination of three structures: vegetative nucleus and the two sperms. You can say two sperms or the two male gametes. So male germ unit, it includes three structures: two male gametes which are non-motile, they are not having the flagella or cilia type of any kind of structure, plus one vegetative nucleus. So this male germ unit, it is found in the three-celled male gametophyte. The important feature of the MGU are the two sperms are linked together by a common cross wall or plasma membrane. One of the sperm is also connected to the vegetative nucleus by the cytoplasmic extensions of the microtubules, and the organization of the three cells MGU is almost fixed, and it determines which the sperm will fuse with the egg and which will fuse with the secondary nuclei. One sperm is smaller and rich in plastids. This is not connected to the vegetative nucleus. This fuses with the egg, forming the embryo. So one is small and the other is large. One which is rich in plastids, that combines with the egg, and that lead to the formation of zygote and further the formation of embryo. And the other sperm is larger, which is large, and that will be rich in mitochondria, and it is connected with the vegetative nucleus and it fuses with the secondary nuclei, forming the endosperm. Secondary nuclei which are present in the center of the embryo sac. So these male germ unit that travels in the pollen tube as a single unit, and after reaching the ovule, vegetative nucleus separates from the sperm first, then the two sperms separate from each other. Then what is the pollen morphology? We will discuss about the pollen morphology. When the pollen grains are mature, they are either two-celled or three-celled in 60-40 ratio of the angiospermic families. They will be having a larger vegetative cell and a smaller generative cell. When at three-celled stage, they will be having a vegetative cell plus two male gametes, which are arranged together in a male germ unit. And the generative cell or the sperm, they lie in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell, surrounded by their own cell membranes and the membrane of the vegetative cell. That is, they are having the double type of membrane. And the wall of the mature pollen grain have two layers. The outer thick exine, we are discussing about the structure of the pollen wall, pollen grains wall. So outer pollen grain is made up of two type of the walls, the outer and the inner. The outer is the exine and the inner one is called as the intine. Inner is thin, outer is thick. The wall of the mature, the intine is made up of pectin and cellulose, and the exine is hard and resistant to the physical and the biological degradations, and it can be divided further into two layers. Exine is divided into two layers, outer sculptured sexine and the inner non-sculptured. One is sculptured, outer is sculptured, and the inner one, it is non-sculptured, called as the nexine. Sexine and nexine, these are the parts of the exine. The sexine is further made up of three layers. Tectum means we can say the roof layer, columella, bar-like elements, and the foot layer. The exine may be non-apertured. It may be apertured or non-apertured. Means exine is apertured or non-apertured. Means it may have the small pores or not have the pores. The apertures may be elongated or circular. The sculpturing or the ornamentation of the sexine is of various type. It is of different types. It may be species specific. Smooth in case of pistillate, and pitted in case of fabaceate, and grooved in case of fasciculate, and spiny in case of cyaneate or perforated, etc. Size of the pollen grain ranges from 5 microns to 200 microns, and the pollens normally have radial symmetry or bilateral symmetry. So it is all about the pollen morphology, the male gametes. Thank you.